What's going on, fowl players? It's been a minute. Took a little break, go down to Florida, catch some trout. Had a pretty good time, but we're out here in a big hole, Tommy and I. There he is, back there. Checking things out, and you can see behind me, it looks really, really good. We got a lot of stuff growing on. So just to recap, we planted Chiwapa Millet, second year for that. Debbie killed it all last year. We also threw in some barnyard grass seed that I bought, as well as smartweed. Don't know how it's doing. We got a lot of groceries sitting out here for ducks. So let's take a look at what we got. So you can see all the lower lighter green stuff is that Chiwapa Millet right through there. That's a 120-day plant. It takes 120 days to mature. Put it in first week of June. It's less than halfway there. We're about 40 days out from planting. We got some, I believe this is just natural barnyard grass that just grows here just because this is a perfect habitat for it. We got some other native grasses there. I think that's a sprangle top or a panic grass, something like that. Good duck food. And then we can already see, I believe this is the barnyard grass we planted. So it's a slightly, I don't know if it comes through, but you can see the hairs coming off the seeds. I know this is it because there's a section over there in one of the ditches where I knew I had thrown a bunch down on the mud flat, and it's coming up and it looks just like this. This stuff's already making seed. Surprises me. I thought it would have taken longer. But it's looking good. We can see down there some of those real tall, darker green plants. I believe that is leftover seed from last year, because before Debbie hit, it was already making seed and was starting to head out. And then those plants came in before we even planted, but they're the real thick stalk that the Chiwapa Millet is known for, which is why we planted it. And they're starting to make seed heads. Actually, let me put you down for a second. I'll walk down there and show it to you. All right, so I am fairly certain that this is some pretty mature Chiwapa Millet that headed out last year before the flood. Actually, a little bit of it survived the flood, very, very small amount. But this was, I think, a plant that, or from a seed from a plant that survived last year long enough to make viable seed. If you look, let's get you down here closer. Why I chose, thanks Rosie, just anytime, move it, move. This plant, if you can see, is, if you've ever seen Japanese millet, this plant, this stalk is much thicker. That's almost as big around as my little finger. Makes a real dense seed head. This has still got a lot of growing to do. And it's taller than Chiwapa millet, than Japanese millet. So that's why we put this in here predominantly. The big thing was it's a thicker stalk, it'll stand up well, it won't rot out like Japanese millet does. So all of these larger, taller plants, that's making a seed head. Those are going to, this is stuff that was here when we planted. So it's good to see. I thought it was a millet, it's good to see. It's just Chiwapa that's come up volunteer from last year. We actually even have over here, now this isn't the smartweed that I planted, but you can see that it is making, we got seeds coming in here with this smartweed. Where I didn't cut, it's coming up. Even where I did cut, it's coming back. I don't know if the seed I planted last year or this year, one of Wave Oglesby, one of you guys out there watching, commented that he had planted it. It wasn't until year 2 that it started doing something. So I kind of thought that might be the case as well. We'll see what happens. That was a little bit of a roll of the dice. Here's why I mentioned the barnyard grass I planted growing in the ditch. Here's why I'm pretty sure what I'm seeing up there with the furry seeds is the barnyard grass, because I know I threw it in here. I recall doing it, and it's got the same type of seed head that we see up there. So looking good. We've got Chiwapa Millet, we've got native barnyard grass, we've got the barnyard grass that I bought, we have some type of smartweed that's making seeds, and we have that sprangle top or panic grass, whichever one it is, and we also saw yellow nutsedge in here. Not a bunch, but ducks eat that too. So that's what, 5 different types of seeds in here. That's perfect. It's mostly Chiwapa Millet, but a lot of the other stuff too. So I couldn't be happier. There are places you had seen where I'd sprayed 2,4-D. They killed the broadleafs and left the millet alone, which is better than it did to my yard. But we're gonna get in here. It's July 14th. We'll get in here in the next week or two and throw out some Japanese millet, which will mature in 60 days. You plant that here in North Carolina into July. It's gonna mature by the season. And we're also gonna plant it over in the bean hole, which we've kept water on the whole time. But here's the problem. We had the pump sitting over there. River stage came up to about 9 feet, which probably put about 4 or 5 feet over our pump. So we're gonna offload the four-wheeler and head over there and assess the damage on that one. Thumbs up on this. This is exactly what I wanted to see. This is just as full as it can get. I think it's leaking out over there. We'll go take a look in a second. But this is exactly, I want it to be like this kind of until, well, right now. Ooh, down here, sorry. Doing my phone instead of the camera. But this is exactly what we want. This is perfect hunting depth. And it's back in the woods. There's probably just as much water back in the woods as there is right here. And we've seen ducks land there. But yeah, we'll leave this on here again until we get that Japanese millet, probably the last week of July. And we'll drain, I'll come out the day before, maybe 2 days before, just to make sure. I'll drain this. This drains quickly. And then we'll round up what little stuff is growing out there. Mostly the broadleaves. I do see some kind of wild seeds over here. But we'll round up it and throw the Japanese millet down and cross fingers. But this is perfect. Now, if I'm right about what the river stage did, water was probably up to about here on the 12th. But really, if we look at what the beaver work, and Go Team Beaver again, that doesn't look like it had water running over it at all. So, I don't know, it was a real quick kind of spike in the river stages. There was a ton of rain about a week and a half ago west of us, like 8 inches in a day. And a lot of the rivers came up. Maybe it just came up, maybe it never backed up in, I don't know. It did back up in here. Obviously, this is holding water. I don't know. We'll go take a look at the pump. I don't have any gas, so I can't try to start it. But I'm going to take it home. There's a seal that's leaking, and I'm hoping our old pump, the seal in it, is still good. And I'll take it out, do a little quick change, though. We shouldn't need pumps in here until September, so it's okay for it to sit in the shop instead of out here. So let's trot over there and take a look. Well, we're thinking maybe the pump didn't flood. I got a sled sitting right over there with a bucket in it, and like I said, water should have been. Actually, I've come out here when the water was at the same level and you couldn't walk across down there, so really high. And that didn't float away, which leads me to believe, and I don't see, like there's no mud line on the grass. It pulls through, feels a little tight. I haven't tried to pull it full speed, because if it does have water, I don't want to hydraulic it and bend a rod or something, but maybe it didn't flood. I am going to take this thing home anyway. There's no sense for it to sit out here for the next 2 months. Like I said, I want to try to save that seal, change the oil, service it, that kind of stuff. Just make sure she's running good. But cross fingers, may not have flooded it. Anyway, I did mention how it's running over here. You can see the plug that Tom and I made. What was that, 2 or 3 years ago?
Probably about 3 years.
I think so. That spot right there is where I cracked my ribs. But beavers are sliding over here. So that's going to stay like that. But this hole is as full as it can get. And it's as full as it needs to be. Really, it to the point now where water's just going to go up. It's not going to spread out. So pretty happy with this. So we are going to roll up the hose. I guess I'll take the hose home because if you can get that apart, I couldn't. Yeah. But this is the one that the beavers chewed on, so I think I can just cut it and maybe put it back on. I don't know. I think I have a coupling. But again, see if I can fix that hole. Yeah, good luck with that. Let's watch Tom. Nope. Yeah, it's those things have been together for 3 or 4 years. They may never come apart. We'll see. We'll drag all this stuff home and I'll work on it. So, all right. Tom and I are going to sit here while you guys go load the pump up on the sled. Or not. All right. We have this one nice field of brown top millet. This is our dove field. And as you recall, I took the lazy approach out. Didn't disc it this year. I just round-upped it twice and then broadcast 50 pounds, a ton of, I think the recommendation though for broadcasting was 40 pounds an acre, so maybe not that much. But didn't turn the ground over at all, just threw the brown top millet seed on top of this. And man, it looks really good. I didn't do any broadleaf treatment like I did last year, and we do have some undesirables. That's cocklebur. I can see quite a few actually over there, but they're not so much, I think, that they're going to cause us, they're not going to outcompete our millet, which is the big thing. And as I look across there, I'll let you look at it again. I don't know how well it shows up on the old phone, but I can just see there's just seed heads everywhere. So middle of July, another month or so, hopefully this will be pretty much, you know, matured and dropping seeds. And we'll see. And actually the fields that are leased to the farmer, he hasn't touched them. He's been growing sweet potatoes, and he disked it 3 weeks ago and then left it. And there's a bunch of weed seeds growing. So with a bunch of bare dirt, actually we kicked up a couple of dove just walking over here. So if he leaves it alone, worst case, he would come in here and try to farm it late summer, but who knows. If he leaves it alone, we might be in pretty good shape for a dove hunt this season, Tom. We'll just have to see how it goes, but I thought I'd come out here and show you guys kind of one last little tidbit, and this stuff is looking good for, that is minimal effort. The only way it could have been less effort if somebody else would have done it for me. About as minimal effort as you can get to plant a dove field. Round up it, broadcast seed on top of it, and let the rest kind of work itself out. So that's it for now. It's hot. We've got the pump. We got to go load everything up in the truck so I can take it home and service it. But that's it for now. So stick with us. We'll be updating you. I'll definitely bring you out here with us when we prep the bean hole or the little hole with you know, killing the stuff and then throwing the millet down. And then at some point in time, we got to do some work on the blind. So thanks for watching this. As always, you know me, I'm Bruce. That's Tom, and you know Rosie, and you're watching Fowl Play Outdoors.